Well, this is a different kind of day. For starters, overcast. And it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's that because, well, it was raining this morning. Hard to believe. But we actually had some rain. And so it looks like it's pretty well cleared out of here by now. So I figured I'd go to Unit 23. Because it does have a really interesting looking pit, especially on the Argus field map app. It doesn't look so hot on the pamphlet, but this is it. It does have a boat ramp, just like it's advertised. But since it's down about, I don't know, at least 2 feet, probably 3, maybe more, it looks pretty crummy. Looks like I'd be spending a vast majority of time trying to work through weeds and stuff. And I'm not sure. See, like this is another typical spot. It's cool that it has those reeds there on the bank like that. If this ever comes back up, this would be really cool. But I just don't feel like trying to get my boat through that kind of stuff. I mean, you can definitely have some good fishing in something like that. No doubt in my mind. But I think I'm going to pass on it. Anyway, there's a place here to toss a cork and worm out there into the water, or bank fish. But anyway, I'm going to move on. Alright, so I ended up my first stop in Unit 22. I chose this pit because it's a small pit and I don't have a lot of time. Of course, do I ever. But it's the only pit you can get to off of the main road. Bellevue is the Bellevue. This is between Northwest 70th and Northwest 80th Street off of Bellevue. Northwest Bellevue. Like I say, it's the only pit that you get off. I mean, it's the only pit that's attached to Bellevue by itself. There's another road on down towards the conservation area, their buildings and whatnot, the office, that goes way on back into this unit, and there's like 4 other pits, I think, that have boat ramps. And this pit has a boat ramp. And this is what it looks like. Anybody got a weed eater? So I'll probably push out about a metric ton of this stuff trying to get out into the clear water. But it looks pretty interesting. And again, this pit's just like all the others, at least 2 feet down. There's an arm back in there that probably could be fun if it was up a little bit more. I like the stumps. Another stump pit kind of thing. Yeah. But it goes on down and around. It's got, according to the map, it has a lot of this kind of stuff here, back in the back. We shall see. There's a tree back there that looks like a great big deer standing there looking at me. But anyway, I guess I got a job to do here, but once I get through all this stuff, we'll see what this pit has to offer. Till then. All right, I made it through the wall of weeds. And I was still doing the paddle test to see how far out that concrete comes. And actually, I was still hitting concrete, and it was probably about 4 feet deep. So if you want to try to get your boat through that, it may work. As you can tell, there's really not a lot of bank fishing possibilities either. So this is pretty much strictly a watercraft kind of pit. All right, so left the boat ramp, came up. There's really nice, stumps and weeds and stuff along the bank. We got this nice willow tree that's fallen over in the water. And then we have this right here. That looks so cool. All right, so I made a little further down the bank. Boat ramp, really cool structure. Stumps, weeds along the bank. Another tree in the water with weeds. Stretch of weeds right here. Goes around the corner and on back. That looks really neat. That was what I thought kind of looked like a deer from way back at the boat ramp. That one dead tree there. The fork at the top looked like straight antlers, kind of. Anyway, only if you have my kind of imagination, I guess. But we're moving on down the road. Pulling it over the top of the mat of weeds, hoping there might be some fish underneath there that is keeping track of it until it gets to open water. Sometimes they'll just punch right through it and grab it. Try to, anyway. Not today, though. At least not on that cast. Ooh, there's more stumps in the water right over here. Ooh, I like this pit. Something about stumps. All right, so I just want to give you a look at. We came around that corner, on down that way is the boat ramp. Right there's that really cool tree. Then all the stumps and weeds and stuff. More stumps and weeds. Nice little tree there. Once again, when the water comes up, most of that would be underwater. And then it opens up back here. Can't wait to see what that's like. Anyway. Had interest in my frog by gar and two little bass. Okay, so I just took a screenshot of where I am on the Argus map. So this is the corner here. Come around here, neat little trees, some reeds in the water there. And then head on down the bank, looks like more of the exact same. Check this out here. I could probably get my boat through there. Wow, awesome. So this is just another shot down the bank here. More bleached out tree roots or whatever branches sticking up out of the water. Well, I just took a screenshot of where I am, and I didn't realize that this actually connected. This is that pit that I was looking at through those two little openings, sort of like a U-shaped thing. On the Argus map, I guess you have to look kind of a little bit closer than I've been looking, because I didn't think that there was a pass-through right here, but there is. Dilemma. Look at those trees back in there. Man, that looks so cool. I think I'll just stick with that here, though, and go on down and see what this looks like. Cool. There's a neat little path right through there. It goes back. Coming up on what looks to be maybe a shallow ridge that comes out here because the grass is coming up so far. But that's another look through to that other part of the pit that attaches to this one. And down the way. I guess I'm going to get another screenshot on the Argus map because it's really kind of hard to tell where I am just by looking. I'd rather pinpoint it using the map here. So let's see. So again, if the water came up, you could go right through there in something like this or a kayak. More stumps and stuff back in there. And then here's another spot where I could definitely right now take my little boat back in there, but I'm not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Son of a... I don't know if you can see, but there's a gar right there. Just sitting there, still as can be. Well, getting closer to the end of this arm. Just kind of, you know, the typical kind of bank that's been in here from start to finish. Neat little stump clumps like that right there, and weeds, and some rocks and a drain whistle tube back in the back there. And then that's the other little arm that really doesn't look like much. There's Adam.
Austin Adamson.
As soon as he honks, I have a fish hit and takes my worm off my wacky rig. Yep, that's the very back end of it, I guess. This looks really cool right through here. Trees, trees. Wow. So, ta-da, this is the back of the pit. And again, if the water was up where it's supposed to be, see, you'd have this nice drop off right on this point right here. So this is the furthest little point to the back of this pit here. Man, it reminds me a lot of the stump pit around Pittsburgh, because they have these little, it has the same kind of shallow little arm that goes back with stumps and wood and water. Dodging weed columns here. So this is the second arm that goes back. This seems to be like a shallow point that comes off here because the weeds are still growing up, well, all the way across actually. So probably a shallow right along and through here. Nice little ridge or something, because there aren't no weeds over here now. All right, so this is the, let's see, second. One, two, okay, so this is the third arm. And just like that other one there, you can tell, I guess, from the weeds, or at least that's what I'm going to go with, is that it's shallow from that point coming straight across, because it's the same thing, weeds straight across the whole section here. So this doesn't seem like it's a fairly deep channel or cove in here either, because with the weeds growing up right here. So I'm going to come over here onto this side so I can show you what it looks like up and down each side of this next bit over. This looks really cool. Man, I'm telling you what, accurately cast that buzzbait right onto those weeds. That big stump there with the water behind it, when this pit comes back up where it's supposed to be, that'd be a really great spot. And then down there, man, I know you can't see, it doesn't show up very good on my video, but it looks like it kind of has another couple of little indents down that way, trees in the water. That bank over there looks pretty sparse all the way up. One tree right there. And then there's a couple little arms right there. So coming from that open area that I just showed you, here's this bank, another neat little stump right there. And then it goes back into this. This looks really nice, but you can tell, I don't know if you can or not, but there's lots of like columns of weeds growing up right out there. So this is shallow, kind of shallow here. Seems like it'd be a great place for topwater bite though. Okay, so pretty much, yeah, this is the last leg. I mean, once I get around that point down there on the left, you can see the boat ramp. But, oh, there's another gar sticking his little tail up out of the water. I guess this back in here actually connects to what I was looking at, showing you. It comes all the way back down through here and connects if the water was up. I mean, it does right now. You can get through it in the kayak, but pretty interesting. There's the boat ramp down there, so I'm making progress. Here's a close-up. So there's the boat ramp coming down the bank. Here's a neat little pocket right here. Stumps in the water. My goodness. So here's that. Look at those stumps. That's so cool. It goes back in a little pocket back there. So once again, when the water comes up, that'll be a really cool spot. Man, this is a lot, very reminiscent of the stump pit in Pittsburgh. And then coming up on the boat ramp, just some more little things going on with the bank there. That if the water was up. Well, no big ones today, but not every day is going to be like that, I guess. So first pit down in unit 22. It's a bigger pit than it looks because it's got lots and lots of shoreline, and it's all pretty much like that. Stumps and weeds. And I imagine in the springtime, before this stuff starts really growing, and if the water can come back up, using like a jerk bait or a chatter bait or something in there probably would be really good. But that is it. I thank you for watching. Don't forget, you can always fast forward these things. I know it's the wrong time to tell you now, but you can fast forward these things all the way to the end, all the way through. And if you see a spot that is interesting to you, then you can, kind of check and see where that is on the map, and you can come on out here and try whatever you think would work there. But anyway, sure appreciate you watching. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the subscribes especially, and thanks for the positive comments. So until next week, because this is Saturday, I don't normally even fish on Saturdays or Sundays, but try it again on Monday. Right now, like I say, I got a barbecue that I got to get going because seems like it's going to be good. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you have a young'un around the house or two and they're really bored, you know what to do. Take them out fishing. If you're bank fishing, don't go here because there isn't really any kind of room for that to happen. So anyway, thanks. See you later. Bye.